Do you think the 100 units mark is still achievable now that you've been into this market for 1 year?
If rents increase, then I might have to stop.
It's very difficult endeavor, especially with sublease.
In July, I lost like 20 something thousand, but honestly, I'm just super happy with it. Airbnb company itself, the customer support is in the Philippines. You know how much they get paid there? $2.50 an hour. I was paying $5 an hour. I'm helping the freaking problem. And when I posted on my Instagram a while back, I got so much hate, man. How do you find management deals in Dubai?
So the way I find management deals first,
So how many Airbnb apartments do you have in Dubai?
in Dubai we have 27.
27.
27 total.
Nice. And you have Airbnb apartments in another country as well?
That's correct. I'm originally from Morocco.
Okay.
I have most of the apartments based in Morocco. We have around 43 units. 42 units. 43 to go.
42 in Morocco. And how many in Dubai, you said again?
27.
27. So why did you decide to come to Dubai and start an Airbnb business here?
That's a good question. So I originally I'm an industrial engineer, so I have nothing to do with short-term rental. So I graduated in 2015, straight from Morocco. I came to Dubai. I had my first time job here in Dubai as a product manager, quite different from industrial engineering journey. But yes, I started as an product manager for 7 years or 6 years, and then I discovered short-term rental, and then I started Airbnb.
Nice.
That's where I started Airbnb, not Morocco.
Okay. Well, so you started this in you're talking about Morocco now?
Yes, so I started basically in Dubai, Airbnb. I didn't start in Morocco. I started in 2020, okay. Particularly when I moved to my unit in Marina. I realized how much structure there is around Marina, and then I launched Airbnb in Marina. So only then, in 2023, only last year, that I started in Morocco. So it's not the other way around.
So my friends do this in Morocco as well. So the guys that I do co-hosting with, my partners, so when I manage apartments for other people, I have two partners. One of them is from Morocco, and they have some apartments there as well. It's quite interesting.
Which cities? If you have any idea?
Marrakesh, the main
the
one.
Best.
Maybe not. What is the other one?
So there are 4 or 5. Yeah. So there is Tangier.
Tangier, I think it's that one. Yeah.
Amazing. So there are Casablanca, Tangier, Rabat, Agadir, and Marrakesh. That's the main 5 cities in Morocco.
He says the ROI is insane.
Crazy.
He says he can get, like, if you buy an apartment, if you put it on Airbnb, you can get 35%.
Yearly?
Yeah, that's what he says.
That's wrong.
You think? Well, maybe he's just really good on Airbnb.
So that even if he's the best in Airbnb, apartments cost in Morocco, even in Marrakesh, for example, it's around, let's say, $70,000, $80,000 for an apartment of 2 bedroom. Okay. You can get easily around $14,000, which is, of course, maybe closer to. It's more than double digit. Okay. But for sure. Okay. But it's an interesting market compared to Dubai in terms of ROI. Yeah. Definitely worth it.
But the problem there is, like, nobody speaks English.
Yes. Yeah. So I would ask you, why is it a problem?
Good point. That's a good point.
For someone to invest in, I think you mean. If you want to invest in.
So I'm thinking if I would go there and, like, do an Airbnb business, like rent apartments, put on Airbnb, buy apartments, I would have some issues because like the banks don't speak English.
So if you need the banks, because the investment needed in Morocco is not much, except if you want to buy, of course, apartments. But if you want to sublease apartments in Morocco, it's the best. But the
landlords don't speak English either.
Yes, but they will trust it more. They will
trust
you more because you have experience in Dubai. You're coming with crazy experience in Dubai. Yeah. I mean, even some people watch you, in Morocco, and also not only about you, but everyone who has experience in another country, and you go to Morocco, you would find.
So people watch me from Morocco?
Yes, I've had a lot of friends that
really?
Yes, I do Airbnb in Morocco, and I had like some friends every time asking me, why don't you do reels like this guy?
Yeah.
You're quite famous.
Why don't you do reels like me?
So I was always a very private person. I was always more of not a social media guy. So that's my first ever podcast with you.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It's a big step for me.
Yeah, you look like a natural.
I try to be. No, I'm not really like that because you have good conversation skills. That's something that, I mean, I noticed also through your podcasts.
Thanks.
You're quite easygoing and you make people feel comfortable in your podcasts.
Yeah, I try.
No, you're very good. You're very good.
All right. So there's so many things I want to talk about. So when you started in Dubai, did you start by subleasing or start by managing? Talk me through that. How you started?
So I initially lived in Dubai from 2015 to 2020. I've done Airbnb once in 2017 when I was subleasing. I wasn't subleasing a unit, to be honest. I was renting a unit yearly, and then what I was doing is whenever I traveled to Morocco, I would put it on Airbnb.
Oh,
and
okay.
I've seen, let's say, the traction.
So you've been in Dubai since 2017?
15.
15?
Yes.
Oh.
17 is when I first tried Airbnb in
Okay.
Dubai. And I've seen that there is traction in this market.
Yeah.
And I never did it after 2018. So I leased the unit. I only traveled to Morocco. When I traveled, I would put it on Airbnb. But when I come back, yes, so that was it. I would live in my unit and that's it. But initially, like when I started Airbnb the right, proper way, through, I mean, of course, all the regulations, through the DCM permits, through everything, was 2020, sorry, July 2020.
So this is such a nice way to start Airbnb.
Yes.
Because it's like no pressure. It's
Exactly.
like the way I started is I bought an apartment in Iceland and I put it on Airbnb, and all I had to do was make as much as the long-term market, and then, if I made any more than that, then it was a bonus. So it's like no pressure. So I bet in your situation, when you live in it and you're going to Morocco, whatever you make, you're just happy to make something, right?
Yeah, I was excited to get around 30% of my rent by renting around 40 days total.
Okay. And were you
So it
allowed
was-
to do it?
No.
No.
That's the thing. I was. So the thing
But
is
back
that
then it was easier because
It
it
was-
wasn't DTCM, like you didn't have to register all the guests and all
yes.
that.
So to be honest, yes, I was not doing it the right way, and I stopped doing it immediately after I got to know that I needed to get a DTCM permit. And what I also wanted to tell you is that at that time, 2017, the market was crazy. So even in Sport City, I had so much demand. If I wanted to rent it on like daily basis, every single day, it would have been maybe
Really?
85-90% occupied easily at good rates.
Wow.
So-
And people subleasing were just making insane
Money. So
Shit.
now comparing to 2017 to 2018 to 2019,
Yeah.
it's crazy how much the returns have gone down. I'm sure you would. I mean, you started in the peak, so you wouldn't probably have noticed.
No.
You started only last year, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have noticed what the market was in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yeah. I started in the worst time. So
now it's getting better for you. The market is slightly, I believe, market is slightly going down.
you feel like it's going down from last year still?
I believe so. This
Oh.
summer,
Is it-
I felt that it's going a little bit down, like maybe around 10%,
Yeah.
8-10% down.
That's what I hear
Not-
from a lot of people. Everybody says so. I didn't really get to feel last summer because I started in August.
August.
So I didn't really
I've seen
feel
that.
last summer. But everybody's saying the same as you. Everybody's saying this summer is worse than last summer.
Yes, in terms of rates.
In terms of
rents,
rates.
yes.
But people are saying that Dubai is busier than last summer.
That's correct. So both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about you. I have around 80% occupancy in the summer of this year. So again,
really good.
it's the rates. You need definitely to a little bit go lower
Yeah.
naturally, but compared to last year, it was worse. So I had around 65% occupancy rate
And you think it's going to keep going? Is it just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse?
in Dubai
Yeah.
in terms of rates or in terms of.
Rates.
So I expect, of course, as everyone. I don't expect. I hope that, of course, the rates would go, of course, slightly higher from September onwards. October, of course, being the high season, but there will always be anomalies. I think the last 2 years, if you noticed in how December was really low after like the second week of December. It was very low after the COP 2020. So You didn't feel it.
You mean the rates were not extremely good like you thought?
Yes,
Yeah,
so-
I kind of noticed. Like February was better than December.
that's correct. It's not natural.
Yeah.
That's not the.
Why is that?
So last year, I think, again, it's political issues that happened in the region. People were not, maybe, that's my assumption, people were not feeling quite interested to come to the region at
Because
peak.
the Israel was started
Yes,
at,
the
at
Israel
that
war.
time.
Yes, so that was
Okay.
the peak of the, let's say, of the war
Yeah.
between the two countries. But starting from February onwards, I've noticed that there was a recovery.
February was insane.
very
It
good.
was just like there was no Airbnb apartments left. You
Yes.
could just charge whatever you wanted almost.
Yes, that's correct. Especially if you're a good operator, you
Yeah.
have good pictures. I mean, you can you can higher your rates. I'm sure. I mean,
and even during, like, I thought New Year's was gonna be just insane.
It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best.
I got too greedy a little bit. I just put too high of prices, and everything got booked around the New Year's, and there was a couple apartments were just empty on the New Year's because I had it at like 4,000 dirhams.
Okay, so you wanted to.
Yeah, and each night around it got booked, so I kind of messed that up a little bit. But now I'm for sure know how to strategize for next New Year's.
What's your strategy this year, by the way? Now that you know that market would not be always as you expect it to be.
So I'm just going to be a little bit less greedy, but still, have pretty high prices. And so what I messed up last year is I just set New Year's too high compared to the other days around it. So the other days around it got booked and not New Year. So New Year was just left alone,
Which is not ideal.
So this time I have to raise the prices around New Year as well a little bit and have the New Year not too high and have a 5-day minimum booking for that period. I was going to ask you. So that I'm more likely to, get
for
a
longer
good
periods.
Exactly. So that's the strategy this year.
And so talking about the New Year, you have current bookings for your apartment for the New Year?
Like 3 or 4. Yeah.
From 28 apartments almost that are already launched.
Exactly.
Which is fair.
And those are all the apartments with the best view of the Burj Khalifa.
Okay, so that was the first one that gets booked usually.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, 3 or 4 even for... I mean, I've seen your occupancy ahead is among the best I've seen, to be honest. Like the 3 months, the next 30 days or next 7 days occupancy that you have, that I've seen from your stories, it seems... I mean, amazing.
So I don't know. That doesn't always have to be a good thing. Obviously, you can just lower your prices and you get booked. But I do it a little bit different than most people. I like to get booked a little bit in advance.
And I think you did that. You did that for the summer, right?
I did that for the summer, and that's what made me do good in the summer, I think.
What's your occupancy rate in the summer overall? Like, if you have any idea?
So mine is crazy because I'm just super aggressive on the gaps, and so it's over 90% for sure.
It's amazing.
But occupancy doesn't really
of course.
matter.
The bar is
it's just how much you make, because you can just lower it to 0 and obviously you're going to have 100% occupancy.
Yes, I've seen that you lost 12,000, I think, if I remember well, $12,000 for almost 28 units, right? Is that correct?
So in June I lost 12,000. In July I lost like 20 something thousand. But honestly, I'm just super happy with it.
You were expecting worse.
I was expecting to lose more. With 28 units, only losing 22,000 in the worst month is just great news. So I celebrated when I calculated it.
I mean, I'm happy that you're sharing this because a lot of people see your stories. They think that if they come to Dubai, okay, so every single month I need to hit $30,000-$40,000, which is wrong. Yeah. When I share with some people that it's natural that you would make huge losses in the summer, they would say, oh, okay, I'm less interested to come and do it. And I'm sure that you've seen a lot of people starting Airbnb business because of you, because they've seen a story of yours. Maybe they've seen how much they can earn. So I'm very happy that you're sharing the low, which is very good.
Yeah.
So exactly. You have any advice, by the way, because I still see until now people interested to sublease just because they see one story that they get excited about.
Yeah. Do I have any advice for people that want to start?
Yes, you've mentioned that a lot, to start in the country, right?
I have so many advice. The big thing is like don't be so in love with Dubai. Dubai is not necessarily the best place to do it, but start in your home country. Look at your home country at least first, because often the most remote places
are
the best ones. That's like correct. Morocco is probably one of the best places in the world to sublease. I hear.
It is.
Yeah. So imagine what Egypt is like, or Pakistan, or all these markets make sense. And the second advice is just to start slow. Just get one unit. And really master the one. Make sure that you're making money before you take the next one.
That's a good advice.
That's the first advice.
That's why I've taken it quite slow.
Yeah.
You've seen that 2020, I started in 2020 until 2024 almost. I'm only at 27 units. Of course, I'm not full-time here only. I've also managed Morocco. But I always noticed and I always felt that if you go too enthusiastic at times, you just lose money. It's an investment market. You have to have a lot of money up front in order to grow. Yeah. So I don't want to risk
Yeah.
if I'm not sure that this is the right deal.
Exactly. And if you have a market like Morocco to do as well, then yeah, maybe you're better off subleasing in Morocco and managing in Dubai.
100%.
Yeah.
You got what we learned in 1 year of operating in Morocco. So again, rent in Morocco, sublease, is much more interesting compared to rent. To management. Why? For three main reasons. It's, of course, payment is monthly. So you pay monthly, right? And in Morocco, you don't only pay monthly, but you can triple the rent or 4 times the rent. So for example, if I rent an apartment for 1,000 euros, I would probably, $1,000, I would probably get $4,000 in the peak months in the summer. Or let's say if it's whatever, 700, you get probably 25, 24, 27,000, which is 2,700.
What about in the low season? Do you ever lose money there?
So that's the good thing. The second good point about Morocco is that it's low seasonality. As compared to Dubai, we are probably 80% plus the whole year with good rates. The rates don't change much. It's probably around, maybe the rates are 20% lower in the low season compared to the high season. So that's the second, I think, most important thing about sublease in Morocco, why it's good. It's similar to the US, parts of the US, probably. And I think the third advantage of subleasing in Morocco is the fact that it's easier to scale, as we discussed. Doesn't require huge investment to start. Plus, you can, what else?
I hear labor is very cheap.
So that's not correct, because if you want good labor, if you want good qualified people, the amount that you will pay is higher than Dubai. So I'm sure that you have one person now in the team full-time that manages the show.
I actually have 4 full-time guys in Dubai now.
But you have one person, I think, that
he's the main guy. He runs the show, yeah.
Do you mind mentioning the average salary?
Average salary for that position is about $3,000. So that I'm paying more than the average salary, but $3,000 a month.
It's considered good in Dubai.
Yeah, that's really good in Dubai.
Good. So, which is 11,000, I think.
11,000 dirhams. Yeah.
So in Morocco, you can get good qualified person like the one that you're talking about for around $2,000, but this is Morocco. So the cost of living is 3 times cheaper. So $2,000 is considered high compared to what you would expect in Dubai. But yes, it's not easy to get good qualified people in hospitality because Morocco is a thriving market. It's a competitive market. There is less competition compared to Dubai. Yeah. So yes, it's also an opportunity that I wanted to speak about.
Okay.
But of course, there are downsides as well.
Yeah, and there's so many pros to Dubai as well. Just how clear the regulations are and everything's so stable and all of that. So you started subleasing, and then COVID hits, and then do you transition into? At what point do you transition into management? So managing apartments for other people.
Exactly, in the COVID. So that happened in the COVID. I was subleasing mostly until the COVID hits, and during the COVID, I realized that the rates are going down. I didn't lose money in the COVID.
You didn't lose money?
Yes, I didn't lose much money because we were not at a higher number of units. We were probably at around maybe 8 units subleased, but it was all discussed, it was all good deals. And my average rent is not as expensive as yours. I don't go for 2-3 bedrooms apartments. I usually go for studios or 1 bedrooms.
So you could fill it with just people that were escaping the UK.
Yes, especially that Dubai was among the first markets that opened.
Yeah,
it's early on, probably 2 months after 3 months maybe after the COVID peak. Dubai was opening the doors for all the markets, and that was for us. I think we maybe get 10%, if not break even, in most of our units.
Nice.
So that was not the nightmare, but it was an opportunity as well for.
I bet, because you could get such cheap apartments, and dude, sometimes I think this might seem a little crazy. Sometimes I think that it would just be super exciting if something crazy would happen like that.
I don't wish it, but yes, I think.
And I would have to just freaking really figure out how to save everything, because I got things in Iceland, I buy apartments super leveraged, and I am, with a bunch of apartments here that are subleased. And if COVID would happen again, I would have to just look at everything and figure out how to survive.
I heard there is a new virus. I hope that nothing will
I
go
heard
wrong.
about that too.
But yes, as you said, the COVID, until now, the apartments that make me the most profit are rented during the COVID. I still have around 6 apartments. I didn't receive eviction notice. I hope the...
So are you like way under the market value there?
Yes, of course. So I'll give you an example. I am renting, let's say, a 1-bedroom in Silver. I mean, I can say names. So Silverine Tower. It's right now at 140 with the Marina.
Is that
view.
in Marina?
In Marina. I mostly rent in Marina.
Okay.
So it's 140 right now, but I rented it at 75,000.
Okay.
So it's half. Most
Half
of my
the price.
apartments are around 40% to 100, like to 50% lower, which means I am able to make much more profit compared to the apartments that I would rent right now.
So it's a 1-bedroom apartment?
Yeah, that's a 1-bedroom. It's a like corner unit, full Marina.
The
view.
rent is 140 for that?
For a 1-bedroom apartment, yes.
Wow. Is it like a new-ish tower?
No, it's like not new, but it's very well maintained. It's one of the
Very
best, for me, it's one of the best towers in Marina. It's called Silverine Tower. It's 10 years old, but like all Marina buildings are quite a little bit older than downtown, but it's very well maintained building. Location is key because it's next to Dubai Marina Mall. It's next to the
Yeah,
walk.
that's important.
So that's a very good area.
So I have the reason why I'm surprised is because I have a 2-bedroom in JBR that I got for 145.
GBR is cheaper.
Oh, JBR is cheaper than Marina?
Now it's not, but GBR was also cheaper than the Marina. You can find better opportunities because it's the number of units is just huge. I've seen this apartment. How is it performing, by the way?
It's performing good, yeah. But
The view is really good.
Yeah, the view and the photos I got very important.
And I like your designs, man. You're doing a very good job in the.
I actually don't love this room right here, but the design. I like this room and I like the living room and everything else is good. But yeah, thanks.
So I've seen that you're focused on downtown more than Marina. How many in Marina you have? I think only.
I only have one in Marina and I got one on the Palm. And then all my other ones are in Business Bay and downtown Dubai.
Is there any reason why you would focus more in?
So honestly, I want to get back more into the Marina because I think it's fine. It's just that. So now I got a team that checks all the apartments between each clean. Like after each guest, they check the apartments for damages. So it's just so much easier that the apartments are all in the same area,
It's convenient. It's more.
It
convenient.
really is, and especially now that I'm trying to get a better deal with the cleaning companies too. I'm trying a new cleaning company. That helps as well. But I still wanna get into the Marina. I know I will soon. If you want an apartment in Dubai and you want to maximize the revenue you're getting, you need to run it on Airbnb and Book.com. A lot of people have asked me if I can run their Airbnb apartment for them, but I've always pushed that to the side just because it will take too much time away from my apartments. So what I've done now is I've partnered with 2 guys that have been in the industry for 10 years, and together we're going to start managing apartments for other people. Now, with them teaming up with me, I'm going to be able to truly focus on maximizing the revenue on my own subleasing apartments and the apartments that we're managing for other people. So if you want me and my team to manage your apartment and truly maximize the revenue you're getting on Airbnb and Book.com, fill out the form in the description and either me or my team members will reach out to you.
My story is exactly like yours because I focus on Marina because of the logistics. Exactly because of the logistics. I'm renting, so I have my full-time cleaners. I will come to this question.
Yeah.
I wanted also to ask you.
Dude, we could talk for hours.
Yeah, because I wanted to always ask you about this. So the way you managed, I believe, the cleaning between the check-in and check-out is that you have hired. You said someone that checks the cleaning between the two.
So they don't check the cleaning; they just check the damages. Yeah.
So that's also So you're hiring someone just for that.
Yeah.
How many? One person?
I got 2 now that are just doing that, but they do the maintenance as well.
Okay.
So these are the maintenance guys, and I have them check every apartment. So there's just so many times where the access keys are lost, or something is missing, and just some issues, and we want to just make sure everything is top notch every time.
So that's good because that's why I wanted to ask you, how do you manage, for example, if there is any reimbursement request? So does the cleaning company, you trust them enough to make sure that everything is exactly as it was? Because every time there is a new person coming in for the cleaning.
Exactly. So you're probably the guys that check the apartments, they with the way I fund their salary is because usually, well, I give them a little commission, but the reason is they often find like damages or missing things that we can then charge the guests for it. And if we didn't charge the guests for it, then we just wouldn't get that money. Like if we didn't have guys checking all the apartments, we wouldn't get that money. So having these guys, it just pays for itself.
Exactly.
Almost. But because I can't trust the cleaners to do it. The cleaners are usually just very, very low salary people getting like 2,000 dirhams a month or less.
Yeah.
And they just don't have this. I mean, sure, they might have the skills, but they're just not motivated to like really look for damages.
Commission. That's my secret. That's what I did.
Okay, tell me about that.
I have a full-time cleaning team. They check. I mean, they are the one who do the cleaning, and obviously I assign similar cleaners to similar apartments.
Okay.
As much as possible, depending on their days off. So, for example, if say cleaner A visits apartment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10, so he would usually be assigned to these 10 as much as possible. Nice. So if there is even the smallest stain issue, carpet, stains, or something is broken or lost, he would remember. Yeah. And of course, there is also the supervisor that checks after them from the videos, and also he goes and checks as much as possible. But we give them commission based on let's say these small claims that they would report.
Okay, nice.
So you would for sure know that they would be feeling more motivated than any other.
They want to find the damages.
Anything. They would find you anything around with the apartment. So that's something that worked well for the past year. And yes, I would also recommend you to try one cleaner in a specific area and see how it goes.
So the thing we do different is I outsource my cleaning.
Yes, I've seen that.
But you have your in-house cleaning.
Cleaning.
Tell me about that. So did you start that right away, or did you first?
No, I started with the company until we reached around, let's say, 13 apartments. That's when I decided to have one full-time cleaner because it justified, like the benefits or the profits would justify to pay for a full-time cleaner.
And did that one full-time cleaner, did he manage to clean all 13?
I had one full-time cleaner and I was still working with this company. So if I had more than 4 or 5 cleanings per day, I would assign, for example, 3 to the cleaner that I hired, and I would assign 2 to the other company that I worked with. And then when I scaled to 20 plus, I have hired 2 more cleaners. Now we have 3 cleaners total. And then always a company that we work with specialize on Airbnb cleanings, because not all companies are doing good job with regards to cleaning the Airbnb standards.
Yeah.
They would just do the normal cleaning.
Yeah, that's what I've found. It's very hard to find a cleaning company that like really understands the importance of doing everything perfect.
Exactly, and they're not how do you incentivize them? Because that's a question I wanted to ask you. It's not someone you can control. Mm-hmm. So how do you make sure that this cleaning company you work with are doing exactly what you had in mind?
So I went through this a couple of times. So I did this in Iceland first. So I had a cleaning company that I outsourced everything to. But obviously Iceland is super small, so the competition is very low. You know, there's only like 2 cleaning companies that offer this in Iceland, and they were just not good at all, according to my standards at least. So when I switched to my own cleaners, I hired my own in-house cleaners. That was the best decision I ever made. Both I saved money and I got so much control that it just changed the game. But here, the cleaning companies are a lot better. And my thought was always to go into hiring my own cleaners. But then I talked to this guy from Europe that has 150 apartments and just is so good at what he does. And he said he still has a cleaning company. And I'm like, why do you have a cleaning company still? You have 150 apartments. And he said his cleaning company is just so good. They're so efficient. They give him a really good price. And even if he had his own cleaners, they could not do it cheaper than the cleaning company.
And quality-wise, yeah.
And that because they're just so efficient, because they just clean, offices and hallways in the morning, and then between 11 and 3 they clean Airbnb apartments, and then in the evening they clean some more offices and hallways, and they're just so efficient and good at what they do, just like we are good at Airbnb. So I figured, okay, if this guy can find this kind of company in the small country he lives in, Why the
not?
hell can I not find this company in
And
Dubai?
have you been able to find one?
So-
Like the one that you trust?
So the one I've been working with, you know, they're decent. Definitely better than the one I work with in Iceland, and you know they run like 1,000 Airbnb apartments. So obviously they're good since they can, you know, run 1,000 Airbnb apartments at a pretty good level.
That's an advantage, but also a disadvantage because they may
Exactly.
not see you as the most important person.
That's the thing. So I got a new company called Moped now, and they reached out to me on Instagram, and we're the only ones that gave me like a proper offer. You know, I put on my story like, hey, cleaning companies,
I've
give me
seen
an
that.
offer, and everybody's just like giving me these bad pitches, like I can do it for 7,000. You know, and I got like 100 messages like that, you know, just bad pitches. And then there's this one pitch that was just perfect. He told me everything I wanted to hear and the price was good. And so I'm like, okay, I got to talk to this guy. So it's two guys from the UK that bought a cleaning company in Dubai. There's a small one that's cleaning like 100 apartments. And they gave me an offer that was like 25% lower than what I'm paying now. So I just gave him 4 apartments, all my downtown views apartments. And I'm going to see if they can maintain the quality, and it's going great so far. And when I'm ready, I'll give them the rest of the units. So
No, that's interesting. I don't trust easily. I
Yeah.
have to find because I can't trust a company would not make a cleaning on time, and
That's
you know how
big one.
important is this.
so important.
Because sometimes they may just tell you that, oh, sorry, we have an issue in the apartment. We had done a deep clean. We come in late at 3 p.m. while the check-in is at 3. So this kind of stress, you don't have it? No.
Oh, so this is a disaster when this happens. I had this many times with my current cleaning company. So guest checks in at 3 and the cleaners are not finished until like 3:30. I had a listing suspended because of this.
Yes.
Because it
2
happened
reviews,
twice in a row.
Twice, exactly.
So your
That's-
listing suspended. This is the worst thing that can possibly happen. So I just go to the cleaning company. I'm like, guys, this cannot happen. It's like this is the worst thing that can happen. So what I actually did for a while is I put my check-in at 4 p.m. but I didn't tell the cleaners. So they thought the guest was coming at 3, but they actually
It didn't impact your
your
bookings?
It did a little bit, but now I've been monitoring, seeing if they're always finishing at 3, and they
And then
are.
you can go back to...
Yeah, so I can go back to 3. But you know, for a while they were not finishing on time.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's so you have 11 a.m. checkout and
Yeah.
4 p.m. Still until now?
So in my 3-bedroom units I got 4 p.m. but my
Yes.
smaller ones I got 3.
3 p.m. Okay, so that's interesting.
But I'm hoping, you know, that so with this new company I'm working with, I feel a lot better communication, you know.
Someone.
Everything I sent, you know, they, you know, listen and they get it done. Not that my old company didn't do that as well, but you know, I'm just super optimistic about the new one. So I'm hoping that, you know, any issues that I have, we can just find a solution
Find
and
a
get
way
it done.
to solve it. I mean, good luck.
Yeah.
One day, if you decide to hire someone full time, tell me. I mean, I've gone through the process of
Perfect. Tell me more
screening.
about it. So how much do you pay the cleaners?
So it's basic. So I provide accommodation. That's one thing that you have to think about. So accommodation is in Marina. That's why, I mean, most of my units are in Marina. So except the accommodation, which usually would cost me around 1,500 per cleaner. So there are a total of 3 cleaners at the moment, like full time working there. So this is the cost that you need to consider, 1,500. Plus basic is 1,500.
1,500
Yes, 1,500.
salary
is
per month.
salary, yes, per month.
Dirhams.
Yes, but then you have to think of the accommodation. It costs 1,500. I'm not giving accommodation like in a shared room of 8 people. No, it's proper 1-bedroom apartment for 3 people. So it costs me around 1,500 as well. Plus the visa cost, you can consider to be around 200 per month, 300 per month. So plus the last point that I have to say is the commission. So based on the claims, on the reimbursement claims that a cleaner would give me.
So where are these cleaners from usually?
So all the 3 cleaners are from India.
They're from India. Okay.
Yes, the 3 of them are from India. I had one person that I may hire soon if I get a deal that I am currently working on. He's from Pakistan, but now it's more difficult to get Pakistani cleaners visa. It's much more difficult right now than before. So
Why is that?
So it's related to, so it's a government decision.
Okay.
So it's more difficult to get Pakistanis over here.
Really?
Again, that's until now what I have in mind, but I haven't investigated the issue much, or I haven't investigated that much in order to know the reason for that. So maybe it's just for lower job positions.
So three cleaners are split in an apartment.
No, so the apartment is, yeah, exactly. So plus
1,500 times 3. So you're paying 4,500 dirhams in rent per month.
Yes, that's correct.
And so the crazy thing about Dubai is how low the salary can get. 1,500 dirhams per month. That's $400 a month. What do you say to people that, you know?
So you have to add, of course, internet and other costs.
Okay.
So, but it's not much. It's not
Yeah.
much. You know how much it costs usually.
Yeah. What do you say to people that, you know, because like the cleaners I use get the same salary. This is just the salary the cleaners get in Dubai. What do you say to people that think this is, you know, slavery and stuff like that?
I mean, look, that's a difficult question, but again, let's think about it. I mean, if I had a budget higher than what I could have afforded, I would have given it. But if you think about it, like if it's slavery or not, this cost is good compared to the cost of living in India or in other countries where my cleaners are from. I can't afford a cleaner from Europe. I can't afford a cleaner from Philippines because their expectations is higher. I can't afford a cleaner even from Morocco. So again, I go with the budget that I have for this position. I mean, again, it's and plus the fact that I provide accommodation, I provide everything that we can to make sure that the cleaner is in the best comfortable environment. I mean, what do you think? I mean, it's
Yeah.
for me.
So I definitely have an opinion about this, but so yours are actually in a pretty good spot since there are 3 people in one apartment. That's actually super nice.
It's very good.
So many. What I hear, I know very little about this actually, but I hear like in some cases there are like 20 people living in one apartment.
Yes, that's correct. There are.
So I've posted a lot about virtual assistants in the Philippines,
I was going to ask you.
and you know some of them get only $4 an hour, and when I posted on my Instagram a while back, I was paying $5 an hour. I got so much hate, man. It was crazy. The comments were just like, slavery, I'm never going to...
What do you say?
People were pissed off, you know? And so here's what I have to say to that. So obviously I've had a lot of time to think about this.
You thought about it, yeah. You surprised me. So
yeah.
I didn't think about it, but what do you think about this?
So I pay them $4 to $5 an hour. The basic virtual assistants, my main one gets like $8 an hour. But so these people used to work for Airbnb, the main company in the Airbnb
support.
company itself. Like the customer support is in the Philippines. You know how much they get paid there? $2.50 an hour.
Really?
Some of them at least. That's what they told me. That's the only source I have. But so this is the average salary in the Philippines. From what I hear, a lot of people just get like $2.50 an hour. So for me to come in there and say, hey, I'm offering $4 or $5 an hour,
Yeah,
you know, I'm
yeah.
helping the freaking problem, because now I'm taking people off the market, and now Airbnb has to fight harder to get workers.
That's
you
correct.
know, they have to maybe even obviously I don't have that kind of impact, but at least I'm making a fractional impact. So Airbnb might have to pay a little more to try to get people. So the more people that we hire from Philippines for $4 or $5 an hour,
supply demand, exactly.
Supply demand, then obviously we have a small tiny little fraction impact of raising their salaries in the Philippines. So we're helping. The more people we can hire from there, we're helping.
That's correct. I mean, again, and if you were able to pay more and of course be profitable, you would have done it, I'm sure, because it all comes back to P&L.
Yeah.
I just want to manage my P&L. Otherwise, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, you're helping. And by the way, speaking about the virtual assistants, so you said that you're hiring people from Airbnb to work with you. So
Yeah.
could you tell me more? Like, do you use online jobs or?
Yeah, so that's how I started. So just there's these platforms that you can post a job in the Philippines, and a bunch of people, you know, apply. So to backtrack a little more, so I started in Pakistan.
I heard about
I had an agency in Pakistan that just handled all my communication for years. When I started in Iceland and when I came to Dubai, 3 years in. But then I realized, you know, it's an agency. I didn't have 100% control. They were managing apartments for so many other people as well. And I wanted them to do more stuff, but they didn't. So I realized, okay, I have to hire somebody from the Philippines. So but it's very hard to find the right person because I went through 2 virtual assistants and I had to let go of both of them. And it wasn't until I found my 3rd one that I struck friggin' gold. And that's the one I pay $8 an hour. And she used to be a manager at Airbnb. So now she hires all the people that used to work underneath her.
That's amazing.
At Airbnb.
When you find one person, that's the best.
Exactly. So she just creates the team and I don't have to do anything. So now they're handling all the communication for all my apartments in Iceland, Dubai. They're answering calls. They've only been doing it for a month, but the reviews are already so much better than it used to be before. So it's absolutely amazing.
And reviews, but the call-in system, how do you use it? The call-in?
They use open phone.
Okay. Yes, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
That's and the good thing about Dubai is that everyone speaks English. 90% of them speak English.
Yeah.
So they can handle easier the communication. That's my main challenge in Morocco. I was looking and I'm still looking for a virtual assistant that can manage also the market in Morocco, because Morocco the communication is much more difficult because the expectations of the clients are much higher because they're not used to Airbnb. They're mostly used to hotels, and Airbnb is quite new in Morocco. So the fact that there are so many challenges in Morocco makes me feel that the best fit would only be a Moroccan person who understands the culture, who understands how it works. But in Dubai, so you're hiring virtual assistants, that's the thing. I hired someone from Hostaway. I hired 2 assistants that work for Hostaway. One of them to manage the communication, one of them to manage Hostaway.
Nice.
So the Hostaway person is still with me. The communication person was not, did not deliver what we had in mind. Communication is the main pain point that I still have
in Morocco
until now.
So you need somebody that speaks Arabic.
Yeah, Moroccan Arabic, because it's different than the normal Arabic.
Okay. Yeah, I bet that's an issue. Yeah, because even sometimes before I started in Dubai, we experimented with, when I was only in Iceland with a couple of apartments, there was a time where we didn't even answer the phone. We just answered every message within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So there was no reason to answer the phone. So when people called, nobody answered, they sent a message and we just answered right away. And it worked well. It worked really well. What's
crazy?
I guess it would be hard though in Morocco but when people message, it translates on Airbnb.
Yeah.
So that works.
No, that works. We can use a virtual assistant help, but there should be someone from Morocco in the market. And again, it's virtual assistants have been crazy. Like, they're very fast, and it's crazy how they can be dedicated full time working and can manage every message in 2 minutes. And until now, I couldn't yet find the perfect person for this role in Morocco.
It's hard, yeah. So who's doing your communication right now?
Right now we have a team in Morocco. We have 2 people managing the communication in Morocco. But until now, I'm looking for that virtual assistant person that can manage the communication up to the standards that I have in mind. Because that's, communication helps 85 to 90% of the review is influenced by the way the person manages the communication. Even if there is an issue in the apartment, the way you would manage an issue with the guest is exactly what makes the difference.
Dude, it's all about like showing empathy and like making the guest understand we're doing our absolute best, and we're gonna make it up to you. And that's the problem I had with my guys in Pakistan. They were cold.
Yeah,
ass.
I can understand you.
They were so cold.
Tell me about it.
So if everything was great in the apartment, everything went wonderful. The guest was like, communication was amazing. Everything
4 stars.
Well, no. They give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
If everything's good. But if there was this smallest problem,
issue, they would find. Yeah.
My guys in Pakistan, they would not. They would just say, "Tell me the issue, we'll fix it," and that's it. There's no empathy, no like, "I'm sorry," nothing, and that's so important.
That role is what I fired. I fired 8 people until now for one role, which is the communication. Just because of what you mentioned.
Yeah.
People don't they don't make the experience feel customized for that specific client. So even if we use automated messages, but we use, of course, 80% or 70% of the process is automated, but that 30% is what makes a difference, and that person that can manage the communication the right way, or that agency, is, to be honest, the main thing in an Airbnb business. And I wanted to quickly ask you, since you discussed that you hired virtual assistants for Iceland. So Iceland, they speak English. That's my first question. And the second question is, you as Bergthor, what is the main challenges that you have between here and between managing Airbnb in Dubai compared to managing Airbnb in Iceland in terms of your time dedication? Are you mostly dedicated here, or like what? How is?
Oh, I like that. I like this. So in Iceland, everybody speaks English. It's mostly Americans, people from the UK and Europe that come to Iceland, or even China and stuff. But everybody speaks English,
That's
and
perfect.
it's the standard. So when Chinese people come to Iceland, they don't expect to go there and speak Chinese, you know. So everybody speaks English, and so the biggest struggle I have in Iceland that I don't have in Dubai is hiring the right people. So labor is so expensive in Iceland.
Yeah.
Very expensive. So it's hard to find. Here in Dubai, I can just pay way over the market value and get an amazing person. And my team in Dubai is insanely good. It's like crazy how motivated they are. They just run it like it's their own business.
I feel that.
And they freaking make decisions without me that are just perfect decisions. You know, it's insane.
I wish I can have someone like
It's
that.
insane.
You know?
But in Iceland, I've had a lot of problems with
Challenges.
that. So I had one guy for about a year who was, you know, from Poland, and he was pretty decent, you know, did work, but then he got a little lazy and then I figured out he was just stealing from me. He was
No
just
way.
trying to suck as much money out of the company as he possibly could. He was like telling me washing machines were broken, selling them, and having me buy a new one.
No way.
And he was he was spending like double the amount of gas he had to spend. Like he just bought gas for his girlfriend and I don't know, his friends or whatever. He was just finding every possible way to get money out of the company into his pocket. It was insane. So I had to let him go. And then my main cleaner was kind of the one that ratted him out. She was like telling me like everything he was doing. So she kind of just took over the whole operations. And then she hired one of her friends to do the maintenance. But they were both from Lithuania. But they were struggling to keep everything in order because she was cleaning so many apartments. She had to manage that, and she was also managing all the cleaners. And the other guy was not, he's still with me, not super motivated. And a month ago, everything came crumbling down. So many maintenance issues in all the apartments.
And it's the peak season. That's why.
Yeah. My reviews went down to like 4.5. So
4.5.
yeah, with my Pakistani guys showing no empathy and maintenance issues in the apartments, you know. So
It's the best combination.
And that's I stopped posting on Instagram for a while because there were so many issues.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I just have to focus on fixing everything. So now I got the team in the Philippines, and I hired my brother in Iceland.
Wow.
My brother used to be like he's the same age as me. We used to work together when we were younger at like Domino's and stuff. And I could just always see he was the best worker ever. But he's had like alcohol problems in the past. But he's been sober now for 8 months. So I was like, all right, you're coming to work with me. I'll pay you a good salary, man. And now he's working with me, and he's so amazing. So we made like this system. So he goes with a checklist into each apartment every 2 months. Just checks everything. Is this here? This is here.
Yeah.
This is here. What do we have to fix? And then he makes a list of everything we have to fix into Monday.com, which is like a system.
I know it.
And then it's like priority, like high, low, medium. And we just have a list of things we have to do. And the guy from Lithuania, my maintenance guy, who's a little bit, you know, not super motivated, but he's good at what he does. We're just pushing him like, hey, how many things did you fix today? How much did you fix today? And my brother and him are just fixing like everything.
So now you think that you found
My reviews are just
better.
shooting up now. Yeah.
So I think now is the like how many people you have in Iceland? Like you have your brother, you have this guy from Lithuania.
So it's just the cleaning and my brother and the guy from Lithuania.
How many apartments?
Like 32.
A quick question, because I also have I manage two countries. Have you ever thought of shutting down one country and continuing with prioritizing one country?
So I'm definitely not trying to get more apartments in Iceland.
Okay.
The
so that's
only I'm just maintaining what I have. The only thing I'm doing in Iceland is if I buy apartments.
you want someone to manage.
Yeah, if I buy
So you manage yours, yeah.
Exactly. I'm not taking more like subleasing or managing for other people. Only if I'm buying.
So that's good, because amount of energy you have in a day is very limited.
Exactly.
So if you have a specific country which is bringing you more issues rather than reward, so you need to prioritize. So you need to check what is going to be. Again, you have your own apartments, but for us in Morocco, we decided to stop management.
Yeah.
And do just sublease because you own the decisions you want to, and you don't have someone to report to at the end of the month. And plus, all the challenges you spoke about when you came to the country and you spoke about the management are amplified in Morocco because the expectations of the owners
are higher.
Plus guests, plus sometimes the building quality is not as good as Dubai. So there are some small maintenance issues that happen every now and then, making our life more difficult. That's why we only focus on sublease, because also the reward is higher.
Yeah. Owners in Dubai are actually very comfortable. They're very comfortable because it's usually investors that have money. And also they're just familiar with Airbnb.
Exactly.
Everybody's familiar with Airbnb in Dubai. It's a part of the housing system.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah, but in Morocco or in Iceland, that's very foreign for a lot of people.
Exactly. It's 10 years, maybe I would see Morocco. 10, 15 years from now is when I see Airbnb mature enough in Morocco compared to Dubai. So that's maybe the estimate I have. It's still in the early stage in Morocco. It's good and bad. It's bad because of the challenges we discussed, but good for investors who want to get to a market where it's just getting started over there.
Yeah, management is also a lot more time consuming than subleasing. It's because crazy. You have to manage the owner as well.
Which is, they expect to talk to you.
Exactly. And tell me about that.
Management is so I tried management in both countries, but as I said, it's a little bit more stressful in Morocco compared to Dubai. As just because owners have high expectations, and in Morocco there is the smallest question they have. They don't write an email. They would call you directly because they trusted you. So if you, Bergthor, would go to Morocco and launch this business, they would only call you. Even if you tell them that there is someone in Morocco that manages the business for you, they would not know.
They want
to talk to you because they trust you. They trust the person who got to introduce them to this business. Plus, in terms of so management is mostly difficult also because you have to take decisions not by yourself, for yourself, but you have to go through another person to approve it. For example,
that's the thing.
That's crazy difficult in Morocco because most of the owners have one apartment, and therefore they're watching it every single day in Hostway. In the property management system or in Airbnb. So if they see a specific booking shortened, or if they see anything impacting this reservation, they would call you. So imagine if you have 100 units, 200 units, how you would deal with that. So that's why decision has been taken to completely stop the...
But you're still doing it in Dubai?
I'm still doing it in Morocco and Dubai, but in Morocco we've given notice.
Okay.
We've given notice that in 2025, 1st of Jan, we will stop management. Most of the...
It just takes up too much of your energy.
Yes. Plus, we already have other challenges with guests, with finding the right people in the team. So it's just easier for us to focus on the sublease.
Yeah, but you're still taking on management units in Dubai?
In Dubai, yes. And in Dubai, I felt that it's just more rewarding. It gets me the same revenue as compared to the sublease at this moment. It was less before when the market was down, but now rent and management in terms of reward is almost the same. Yeah. Plus, there is no investment upfront because Dubai is a crazy market in terms of investment. Some of my units are paid in one checks. Like 30-40% of my subleased units in Dubai are paid one checks.
So the whole year's rent is paid upfront?
Yes, upfront, which means that it's a huge market in terms of if you want to grow or scale. That's why I decided to focus more of management here in Dubai, except if you find a good deal that you can't miss, that you have to take. That's when I would for sure take it. And I wanted to ask you, because you also started a separate company with management in Dubai. How's it going? I know that maybe
it's going actually so good, and I want to put more focus on it because it's going just so great. So definitely a lot of thoughts here from listening to you. And one thing that you said, that it's the big factor is all the decision when you're managing for other people, all the decisions you make, you have to run it through people, and that amplifies the time everything takes by 5 times
minimum.
Because if you can make decisions and you don't have to run it past everyone, you can make hundreds of decisions in one day. You can just dunk down, but if you have to run all these decisions past someone, you move 10 times slower.
Exactly.
That's the problem with management. But not to hate on these owners at all, because understandably they want to have control of what's going on in their apartments. So you just have to figure out how do you do this and still maintain quality in all the apartments, and the way I figured to do this, because management is, I call this co-hosting, is it's honestly a better model than subleasing in Dubai, like you said, because there's no investment up front. You get pretty much the same amount of profit, and if COVID hits, you're still gonna make a little bit of money. You're not gonna lose money, So it's a much better model, to be honest. But I couldn't figure out, with all the things I want to do these podcasts and make videos and sublease in Iceland, Dubai. I just can't do it all. So I figured, but I got all these owners asking if I can manage their apartments. So I figured, can I hire somebody to do the communication with the owners? But that's difficult. Like you said, they want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to somebody that you hired. So the only solution I found was like, okay, I just have to find a guy or guys that are have the same knowledge, same skills as me and you, same skills as us, so that the owners are happy to talk to them.
Exactly.
And that's what I found. I find 2 guys that do have a business in Morocco. That's why I know someone's out of Morocco. And they worked for a property management company for 10 years.
In Dubai?
No. So it's a small property management company like HostAway. Mm-hmm. They worked for 10 years. So for 10 years, they were advising Airbnb owners on how to integrate with all the softwares and making decisions. So obviously their mind is just...
constantly.
Their minds are just programmed for short-term rentals, and they teach me a lot of stuff. I'm like, when I'm like, especially on Booking.com with promotions and stuff, I'm like, I ask them all the time, how do you do this? How do you do that? And they're teaching me. So they're just and they were just started in Dubai after doing this in Morocco. So it was like the perfect fit, just some super skilled guys just starting in Dubai. And it's very hard to start this in Dubai.
Yeah.
Because
it's good that you mentioned it.
You can't do marketing in Dubai, really. Yeah. Nobody looks at freaking marketing. It's all about word of mouth, trust.
Exactly.
And that's what I have. So it was like the perfect collaboration. And now we got like 14 apartments.
Good.
That we're managing for other people.
Very good.
And I want to...
You take every area, or you focus on specific areas?
So they want to do pretty much
everything.
Pretty much everything. And I'm like, guys, we're going to get busy. Let's focus on the good apartments.
Exactly, especially in the high season.
Exactly. So we're still doing a lot of areas, but I'm trying to get us to focus on the good ones.
Now that you discussed about management, I want to go back to sublease, because that's, I think, your journey. And I had this question before, when you mentioned a lot that during the summer you would focus on growing your portfolio as much as you can. Now, I've seen that in the summer you probably increased the number of units by 8 or 9 units. Is this the target you had in mind? Plus, the second question, do you think the 100 units mark is still achievable now that you've been into this market for 1 year?
So honestly, I thought maybe I would take more apartments this summer, but I've just I've been hoping that the rent would go down more, but it hasn't. So I've just been taking steady, 2 or 3 every month. And I guess that's just the speed I'm going to go at. And if I'm going to go to 100, it just depends on the deals.
Exactly.
If rents increase, then I might have to stop, and I won't get to 100 at all. But if rents stay where they are right now, I'll probably continue 2, 3, 4 every month. And if rents collapse even harder, I would maybe take more. So it all depends on the market.
So that's the thing. I believe you had initially planned end of 2024, I don't recall, but I think it was the end of this year.
100. I actually never set anything.
You never
about,
had the target in mind?
Never had a time frame in mind. Never. I don't think I've mentioned it once.
Okay,
a time frame.
good. So that's again. So reaching 100 probably people can think that it's an easy endeavor. It's very difficult endeavor, especially with sublease. And coming to this point, in terms of all the money that you need to grow your portfolio to 100, do you use your own money or you are looking for investors at the moment?
So far it's 95% my own money. There's one guy that's been lending me a little bit of money. He's lent me 600 dirhams, but I've paid him back already
600,000.
600,000 dirhams. And I've paid him back like 100, 200,000 of it already. So it's almost all my money, but it's all profits coming from Iceland. And also a lot of this money is, so I was buying apartments very early on in COVID, and these apartments rose in value a lot. So I've sold some of these, and that has funded a lot.
But you will be looking for investors at a certain point of time, or aren't you?
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody can lend me money at like 12% interest, I'll take it any day, you know.
12% is your target. Okay.
Yeah, maybe even 15, I would still take it. But it's just very hard for people to lend me money because I don't have any collateral, you know. There's no safety.
Yes.
How people just have to trust me.
How can I trust? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard for people. And I've spent a lot of time, like people saying like, hey, yeah, I'll lend you money, 50% interest, no problem. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's go over the details, blah, 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 blah. And then it always ends up not working out. So right now when people send me, I want to lend you money at 50% interest, it's like not even worth my time to try to get it done because
it won't even happen.
It always ends up not happening. So that's... I think what investors want, they want a part of the business. They want to get part of the profits, to be able to get 50% return or 100% return, or they want the high upside.
Of course, you're not open for that.
And that's something right now I'm not open. Unless I would do like, I'm thinking about doing a villa on the Palm.
Villa in terms of what? In terms of management? Or?
No, so sublease a villa on the Palm. Obviously, that's super expensive. Have somebody pay for the investment, and then we split the profits 50-50. And that way, an investor could get 50 or 80% return on his money.
And they also have to trust you again.
They have to trust me again.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do.
To a certain point. To a certain
point. Less extent, yeah. And they get their money back much faster, so it's like less of a trust.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, it's you're a public figure now, and people still struggle. I mean, you're still struggling to find the investors. So that's, again, it's a business that you really need to be 100% ready, have enough money to start, plus be a very good operator before you start in Dubai, which I think that's why you're doing good. And your average rent are very expensive compared to most of the operators. I think your average rent is around 170, 80 per year.
Yeah, for the 2-bedroom ones, yeah.
So that's a very, very, that's a high amount for most of the people operating in Dubai.
Exactly, yeah, it's high. So how many of your apartments are subleasing and how many are management?
I didn't do the count, but I would say around 14 are going to be subleased, 13 are going to be managed. Okay. I believe it's around 55-45 towards management.
Okay.
Towards sublease.
And what are the goals for the next couple of months and years?
So, my main objective would be to grow Dubai as much as I can, and of course, my main objective would be to reach 50 units in Dubai in the next probably by maybe Q1 of 2025. That's the first objective. And in Morocco, our objective is to reach probably the 100 mark by the end of next year, but all through sublease. And in Morocco, there is a good thing is that you can rent buildings. You don't have only to rent apartments. So renting a whole building where there is 30, 40 units is much easier. Plus, it's much easier for us to operate in because you have your own team based. So
you can get a whole building in Morocco.
Yes.
Wow. So your aims are really big on Morocco.
In Morocco, it's crazy big. As I told you, it's one of the markets that is the competition is very low. Plus, easy to scale. Yeah. Plus, it's a destination where...
Well, my guys told me about this, and I was like, why the hell are you in Dubai? Why are you not subleasing in Morocco?
You have to try Dubai. You have to try Morocco once. Yeah. I think you would... You would love it because there
Sounds
isn't much of
interesting.
luxury operators at the moment. In
What if
Morocco.
I start just documenting everything in Morocco?
That's interesting. I mean,
How's the safety in Morocco? Is it?
it's very safe. I
Okay.
mean, it's a very touristic country. We have, I mean, tourists coming from all over the world. It's very well connected. It's the highest in terms of number of visitors, number of tourists in Africa.
Yeah.
Probably first or second after South Africa, but I think it's first. So it's a very touristic destination.
Yeah. I know
Plus-
people from Iceland that go to there for a holiday.
No, Morocco is amazing. I personally love Morocco. I personally love Marrakesh. We haven't started yet in Marrakesh. We're only focused in Casablanca at the time being. Marrakesh is it's an amazing city.
Okay.
You have to go there. Plus Tangier is now trending. If you look at Tangier, the market there has grown a lot, maybe 30%, 40% in terms of real estate. So whatever market was before, for example, 2 years, 3 years ago, it's 1.3 now, and it's only growing.
Yeah,
so it's good.
I want to go check that out. But so we only have like 7 minutes left, and there's a couple of questions I want to ask you.
Yeah, of course.
So you say you want to get 100 apartments in Morocco, and so you said they're making $4,000 profit in the high season, in the low
Not profit. Yeah, I would say not profit, but you can
4x.
make 4x.
But in the slow season, do they at least break even, or
I mean, I didn't have
one loss?
any single unit until today that has made a loss in any of the apartments we sublease.
So with 100 units, you're at least going to make $150,000 profit every month.
No, that's again probably you can make. I mean, again, the figure that you put is $3,000 per unit, right?
1,500.
Huh?
I said
What is the
1,500.
The profit per unit?
Yeah, 1,500.
Dollars?
Yeah.
It's feasible. It's possible.
Yeah. So you can make
100 units. But yeah, again, it's before deduction of charges, before deduction of all the employees' costs plus everything. But as you said, in Morocco, it's very, very, very lucrative in terms of return on investment.
Because and furniture is probably cheap and it's just super low investment, right?
That's not correct. So I'll come to this point. This is only true in the high season, in the very high season.
Yeah. Okay.
In 3 months per year. There is low seasonality. You can always double your rent. That's for sure. So of course, this number I told you, maybe some Moroccans would see us and say that, oh, that's not even. That's crazy. They would do tomorrow. They would start Airbnb tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's not always correct.
Yeah.
You may have also hard months, and if you're not a good operator, presenting your Airbnb in the best way possible, plus being, always communicative, you won't sometimes even make break even. So I'm not selling something, a business that's of course has everything positive, and it's a very stressful business. You have to be really, really ready. And you mentioned about the furniture. That's one of the cons in Morocco. Furniture is very expensive. So it's probably 2 to 3 times more expensive than Dubai.
Wow.
So that's why it's not easy to sublease unfurnished units.
I see.
It's always better to find the right units. Owner is flexible to help you with the furniture. Then you maybe hire the rent at maybe $100 more per month.
Yeah.
Then you can for sure make money out of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's great. So
can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Since you spoke about, the amounts or the money, have you ever thought of how much money you would approximately get or end up with, or income you can get if you reach your objective of 100 units? Have you ever done this exercise before, or just?
Yeah. If I get there, it's gonna be great. So my target is to make about $2,000 a month on each unit. $2,000 a month profit on each apartment per month. And if I do that with 100 units, that makes me $200,000 a month, average throughout the whole year.
How much money you make per unit now, in average? In average, I know you didn't complete the full year.
So in a lot of them I haven't finished the full year, but on some of them I have. And so on my first units that have finished a full year, the profit is about $1,700 a month.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
But obviously they have a very good rent. So I think I'll be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month. But that is by doing everything perfectly, or like very close to that.
Because 2,000, it's just really, really good.
Yeah.
So around $200,000 per month is what you could aim to achieve. But of course, there would always be summer months where, of course, phasing. It's like a phasing.
And then some issues might come up. It might get even more competitive, and so I have to have some room for error. But So you mentioned so one thing that comes to mind. So you're focusing on Morocco. Two things I'm wondering is why don't you just live in Morocco since your focus is there, and also since you're not subleasing in Dubai, how do you get management deals in Dubai?
No, I mean, sorry, say the last part of the question. Can you say it again?
Yeah.
Since I don't.
How do you find management deals in Dubai? Obviously, you just can't go to Property Finder and say, "Hey, I want to manage this apartment," like I do when I'm subleasing. How do you find management deals?
So I will answer first the first part of the question.
Okay.
Why don't I live in Morocco? So to be honest, I'm 6 months here and 6 months. I'm traveling to Morocco in the next 12 days. So
that's
yes,
perfect.
I live between Morocco and Dubai. So that's always an objective I had in mind. So that's why I need to sustain a good and strong business between the two countries. The second part of it is how do you find management deals in Dubai? So the way I find management deals, first, of course, there is word of mouth. So owners usually I manage their apartments usually have more than one, plus the fact that they speak between each other. And they always, I mean, I had a lot of times when an owner has recommended me to another owner, and that's how we started managing their units. Second is, I will say three main points. Second is I have someone in the field who's very strong. So his role is not, of course, sales. His role is not to bring business. I don't have someone specialized only in bringing me management deals, and maybe I should think about it. But I have someone who's very strong in the field, who knows the security of every single building. He connects with all security guards or all the security guys for every single building. And this connection often brings us people interested in managing their apartment. So if there is any owner buying an apartment there and asking the guy, like the security guy, about like if you know any good short-term company, they would usually contact us. And that's how like usually I get other deals. Plus the third point is that in Dubai, you can have a database of owners every single year. You can have a database of all owners in Dubai. So we don't do that much, but I may do it in the next few months, where I would probably get, not myself, but we could get in touch with owners and maybe give a value proposition. I don't like that. I don't like cold calling. I don't like contacting owners out of the blue, but I may do it. It's a very competitive market. If you're not, you'll just disappear.
Cold calling is crazy here in Dubai.
Every single day.
Yeah. So when I moved to Dubai, I moved here with a job at a real estate agency. And so after going through some training, the first thing they had me do was that cold call people.
You said that.
And try to get them to let us manage their apartments on Airbnb. And the thing is, our company it was in the summer, we had 20 apartments and 0 bookings. So, and everything was messed up, you know, and they didn't let me fix it. I was like, we got to fix it. We got to change this. We got to change that. They were like, dude, you're a 27-year-old from Iceland. Just sit down and let us do this. So they didn't really listen to me. And then they made me cold call all these people, try to get them to give us their apartment, but we didn't have any bookings. So it was just like,
did you get someone to
No, man, no. I did like 10 calls and I'm like, I hate this. This is terrible.
And you don't feel even that you're having something to really sell, because your calendar is Dude, not
if
booked.
I was cold calling, I'd have a super easy time selling it.
Show them.
I'd be like, hey, what numbers do you want to see?
You.
Let me show you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm killing it. I'm making so much more money than this guy. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
You have to do it now, I think.
Yeah.
Just send a video of you so people know you already.
Maybe.
That's what I do. Or give it to your guys and then just circulate it between.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you could scale easier. Scale easier, especially in management. But again, it's all question of priorities. So
exactly.
It's good.
But the big thing is just word of mouth, just maintaining top level quality, because then it spreads. Because in Dubai, it's super hard to market yourself for cold call because people are bombarding you everywhere you go. But word of mouth is just like
easiest marketing,
exactly.
And plus the most effective.
Exactly.
Because nobody, like how often you get a cold call in Dubai, you would stop maybe in the first 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But if someone refers you to another operator that maybe you think is trustworthy, they for sure will trust you.
Exactly.
You're doing great, by the way, so keep doing it.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm really. This is a very great conversation, and I think we should do it again in a couple of months. It's very nice to meet you. It's crazy how we met. I was just sitting in the mall in my laptop doing work.
Yeah, and I was with my wife, and
oh yeah.
Yeah, she said that this is the guy who does.
Really?
Yeah, I said, yeah, his name is Bergthor. So,
And then you come over, I'm like, hey, we gotta hop on a podcast.
and that's why I was surprised. Man,
Yeah.
it was so natural. Like maybe we had 2 minutes conversation, 3 minutes conversation.
Yeah.
We should do a podcast.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
you. And then here we
Because
are.
I knew where it was going. You were an operator with like 20 some units and in Morocco. It's like we were gonna have a 2-hour conversation. I was like, let's just do it on a podcast.
Exactly. We wouldn't have stopped for sure because
Yeah, yeah,
there were
yeah.
so many questions I had, and
Yeah.
also for sure you would have questions also, and that's where we met. I
Yeah.
think the first time. So
Love
that's
it, man.
interesting.
Definitely. Let's meet again soon and do a podcast in a couple of months, or and see where we're at.
Where the journey is.
Exactly.
And
Good
best
stuff,
of
man.
luck.
Thanks, man. You too.